All right, welcome back to the SuperCoach Enough channel. Excuse me. In this video, we're going to preview round 11 of the 2026 NRL SuperCoach season. So Magic Round this weekend. So all the games up here in Brisbane. I'll be out there on Friday night, probably watching the Bulldogs lose yet again. But we'll keep the faith. Hopefully they'll come good. But yeah, a bit of wet weather around, which might make things a bit interesting. But I guess before we get into the usual round preview, just a quick pump up for the SuperCoach Origin. So kicks off obviously with game one, only 10 days or so away. So you can see here on the screen the league link. So it's just an open league. No head-to-head stuff considering there's only 3 games. But the league code there, 884542. So if you wanted to jump in and have a crack at that, yeah, we'll throw it in with like I guess the round previews leading into those post-Origin weeks. We'll have a bit of a look at how everyone's gone, and maybe in the round review before Origin, I'll flash my team up on the screen for those that are interested. But we're all here to discuss round 11. So we'll jump into the most popular trades for this week. Excuse me. And number one on the list this week is Simi Sasangi. So going to miss a few weeks with a shoulder injury. Looks like round 15 is when Simi is due back. So round Origin 2. Yep, I think, he's a lot of money sitting on the bench. And if you can use it, feel free. Fayamani at number 2, so probably was a cash cow, who was unfortunately injured, won't play round 12, so he can go. Arama Ho, so a slightly different tack here with people trading him out even though he is named to play, albeit coming off the bench, did already lose 60k, so I think if you've got the choice between Ho or Fayamani, so 50k difference. Obviously, the positional difference may factor in, but I think you should trade Ho first just because he will lose cash. Fayamani won't lose cash while he is sitting on the sideline injured. So, and that goes also for Sasani. So if you've got these two in your second row and you don't need the extra 250k, I'd be trading Ho before Sasani. Matt Duffy, so at fullback, or sorry, on the interchange bench, sort of any cash generation he had is now evaporated. So I think, yeah, here's one you get out of with Jai Gray back. He doesn't really have a role there anymore. A Setu to at number 5 is an interesting one. Obviously, against Penrith, he's going to potentially struggle for upside. But he is playing the next couple of weeks. I think the break even's not the worst, 29. So I don't think he'll lose a lot of cash. But at the same time, I guess given that I'm looking at trading a Dragon that's playing out this week, I do understand. But yeah, I think if you've got nothing else wrong with your team, you can move off Setu too. Latrell Mitchell traded out this week despite playing or being named to play. We'll see tomorrow night. But I think if you've got him, you hold. You can obviously look to trade him next week when you imagine he'll be picked in the Origin team. He won't lose money. Break even of 84 is big for most people, but he is averaging 115 this year. So could even make a little bit more cash for you. You could sell at about 1.1 mil, which is wild. Makasini at number 7. Yeah, don't know when he's back, round 13. So, yeah, he can go. Brandon Smith. Yeah, I think, you can get rid of him. He's not going to play round 12. Looks like there is a viable round 12 option. So, excuse me. So I think, yeah, Brandon Smith you can trade. Failunga is an interesting one. So has a big break even of 105, but is up against the Eels this week, who are the highest flying team, and the Storm coming off a win could do pretty well. I do remember a few years ago, actually, Para Melbourne played Magic Round, and Ryan Pappenhausen went absolutely nuts. So not the same player, obviously, not the same teams, obviously, but a little omen there for those looking to get off the sewer. I think there might be more value in holding for the time being. And then Blake Brayley, so misses the next 2 weeks. The Sharks are on the bye next week. Um, I think though after round 13, he is the one you want to target. Um, Potentially could be in the mix for New South Wales, which does limit some of his availability during round 15 and 18. Um, but with Appy Coruscant, Reece Robson in the mix, it may be worth just holding and seeing what happens this week. Um, but I do understand as well people wanting to trade out and have a playable option this week. On the trade ins this week, number one, Greg Marzu. So I don't know if I can get around this. He doesn't play next week. He's on the bye. Um, sure, he'll make a fair bit of money this week, but the 150K is based off him scoring a 94, which is probably going to involve him having to score a couple of tries, um, given his scoring previously. Um, so if he has a quiet game, he's not going to make all that money he's projected. Um, and then, you're going to want to move him on in the near future anyway. So I think there's better options, namely the next two, Jack Bostock, Jermaine Osako. I think Bostock is the go, given that he is a lower price, nice break even to make a lot of money. Osako obviously benefits from not being eligible for Origin, but they do also have the round 13 buy. So you do, if you've already got a Herbie Farmworth, I don't know if you can fit all three in. I'm going to fit two in my squad, so I think it's doable. Um, but yeah, I think Bostock is the pick out of the two. Kalen Ponga at number four. So, doesn't play next week, but if you're treating him as a season long keeper, um, yeah, he's made 100K already. His price is only going to go up for the medium term. So, yeah, I don't hate it, but obviously you want to make sure you've got numbers for round 12 before you commit to it. Oliver Pascoe at number five. So, a cheap hooker that looks like it's going to make a bit of money. Um, they have named Luke Summerton on the bench this week, but that might just be his cover because he played 80 minutes last week and did all right, albeit the Titans didn't do that well as a team. Um, but yeah, I think he is a good option to bring in this week. Offers you a number for rounds 12 and 13, which is pretty nice. Cody Ramsey at number six. Obviously, bottom dollar, centre wing, cheapy. Dual position could be handy as well. Um, I don't hate it if you're looking to basically trade out a cash cow like a Fayamani to upgrade elsewhere. I think you could, bring in Cody Ramsey, you know, and bank a bit of cash. Jordan Samrani at number seven. I think this is a bit of chasing last week's points. Um, Obviously, he will make a bit of money in the short term, but doesn't play um, in round 12. Uh, maybe the dual position with Sasangi's handy, but um, yeah, I just don't know if there's enough value in the pick to justify trading him in and then trading him back out. Isaiah Papali'i at number eight. So not sure why he is so popular, other than he's playing the Dragons this week. Maybe named on the edge, perhaps. But yeah, I guess with Origin, he shouldn't be impacted by that. Could potentially play some more minutes, albeit won't play round 12. So, um, yeah, I don't really understand that one, but more power to you. Harry Grant, so again, made a lot of money last week. Um, so people are on. Obviously, you'd imagine he'd be in the Queensland team for round 12, so he doesn't cover the bye for the Storm. Um, yeah, so honestly, if you don't have Pasco, I'd be going Pasco even over Harry Grant this week, just for the coverage and the cash generation. I think the points won't be too far off. And then, come round 14, 15, when Pasco has peaked, you can trade back to Harry Grant and it costs a lot less than the 250k gap currently. And then Ryan Couchman at number 10. So offers coverage for rounds 12 and 13. Still offering some good value with a break even of 11. Um, yeah, I think it's not too late to bring him in if you haven't yet done so. So, captaincy options this week. Here we go. So, Nathan Cleary, obviously against the Dragons, who have been struggling, is probably the safest captaincy option so far this year. Um, yeah, so 41% I think is fair. Latrell, given that he is playing against the Dolphins, who aren't the sharpest defensive unit going around, he could go big. Teddy, if you've got him with the form he's in, playing for an Origin jersey, he could go big. Kalen Ponga, we've seen his form this year, averaging 101. He could go big. Payne Haas, don't know what's going on there. Did I do all coaches? Maybe. Yep. Let's go top 10%. Flip it a bit. So there you go. Even higher ownership there on Cleary, 73%. The next three are all there. Jackson Ford. So maybe a few people using the loophole last week with Jackson Ford haven't yet changed it. He's coming off the bench, which obviously means he's not playing big minutes. He could play 55, 60 minutes. Um, but yeah, not the 70 to 80 that he has been punching out. So don't look at him as a captaincy option this week. Nico Hines, I guess against the Bulldogs, I can definitely see the appeal in that, given the Bulldogs' form. Sua Failunga against the Eels, as I said, Magic Round, Para Melbourne. Fullbacks have lit it up in the past for the Storm, so it could be a nice little shout. Greg Marzu, so maybe people hoping for another double ton. Don't know if that quite happens against the Titans, albeit, it could. Macassini, obviously a few people using Macassini in the loop last week, and Harry Grant. So, um, yeah, probably a safer captaincy option rather than the high upside. But if that's what works for you, that's fair enough. Vice captains. So Teddy's a massive vice captain shout this week and highly owned in the top 10% as well. So there you go. KP, Latrell, pretty popular given their ownership as well. Herbie Farmworth against the Rabbitohs, is always an interesting vice captain option. Um, Bostock, Sarko as well, playing early. Drinky there as well at number 11. Shout out to Drinky. Um, but yeah, so those are the most popular options. In terms of my team this week, I already did me trades. So I'll just quickly talk you through them. So Bostock to Holmes was the first trade. As I said, I'm trading out of Dragons back that's available, potentially available. He might play for Queensland, which gives me a bit of an out, but he's bled way too much cash for me this year. Um, Happy to jump off. Bit of a rage trade, but I honestly don't care. Arama Ho, another one bleeding cash. So we're bringing in Toby Couchman. Um, was very keen on Jackson Ford till he was named on the bench. Also, a bit of chat he might be in the Origin setup. So I think Toby Couchman's probably a safer pick. particularly given that the front row is a little bit lacking in scoring potential at the moment. And then I've used my last boost, getting on Oliver Pascoe. I think it's going to be a short term play for the next couple of weeks. And then I do want to target Blake Brayley in round 13. And so he's currently at about 750k. So I've got to make about 400k. If Pasco can make me 100k of that, I've got a bit of cash in the bank. I've got a couple of players I can downgrade as well to make that happen. So, um, yeah, so those were the trades, which, yeah, as I said, means I'm out of boosts. So it's kind of handy not having to worry about it if you don't have any. Um, and then the lineup this week. So Grant on field. Actually, I want to put Pasco on as well. Who plays first? Oh, yeah, Harry Grant just. So yeah, Pasco's playing for me now that I've brought him in. Couchman and Mooney up front. Tolty with that bench roll needs to get cut sooner rather than later. Um, but his break even's not outrageous. 82 is better than Arama Hose. So we're getting out of that pick. Paseka's fine, just doing his thing. We'll play next week too, which is nice. Second row is pretty good. Lukey, Preston, Lasardi, Couchman, happy with. I was going to play Cooper by until I used the boost. So, yeah, happy to have him next week and round 13 as well. And then we might look to move him on. He's made, what's that, 260k? So well done, Cooper. Absolute legend. No, Martin, we can move on whenever with his injury. Campbell, Cleary, both playing. Cleary is captain, so that's why he's on field despite playing last. Money at 5/8. We were hoping Cade Reed was going to be on the bubble this week and make a bit of cash that way, but unfortunately for the young fella, he busted a hand and is out for most of the rest of the season, unfortunately. So still got to work out what to do with 5/8 so with Holmes out, Bostock in, we set 2-2 playing against Penrith. Don't really want to put him on field. So happy with the four more gun type options. Obviously, Tommy Chester's a cheapie that's come good. Bostock, I think we like as a value option. Covers lots of origin buy rounds, which is nice. And then the three fullbacks are all pretty good for the time being. So KP playing a bit later just means he's on the bench. I guess the only one was vice captain. I need to change to KL up against the Bulldogs. As I said, as a fan, um, I hope they win, but given what they've put out the last few weeks, the faith is wavering a bit. So might be a bit of a little omen. Put it on KL. If the Sharks go well and he goes well, that's fine. If the Bulldogs win and Kaleo goes flat, then I'll be just as happy. And then obviously Cleary against the Dragons, safest captaincy pick of the year. But yeah, that's the team going into round 11, Magic Round, for the 2026 NRL SuperCoach season. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Particularly, I feel like people aren't challenging me enough given how poorly I've gone. I want you to rip into my picks. You know, maybe give it to me for getting rid of all my boosts or something. I don't know. But I feel like I've been getting off pretty easy this year. But yeah, give it a like if you enjoy the NRL Supercoach stuff. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.